Hey everyone, welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 619. Recording live on August 20th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
And I am Cowtown Tony.
We should be joined a little bit later by Kyle and by a guest. Tony, have you been up too much with guns lately?
I lit my credit card on fire, which is not a good thing, generally speaking. Star Wars, what I mentioned, was last week's sell event at, well, I think it might still be continuing. I don't know how much inventory is still left at the Calgary Shooting Center for demo Vortex stuff. So, not zeroed in, unfortunately. If Dustin is on, he will probably judge me for being ill-prepared, as I now have a firearm that is not zeroed. But I have a micro 6-ax. Well, they only have one version of the 6-ax Vortex magnifier behind my used to be IPSC PCC optics, the Vortex Gen 1 UH1 Razor.
Huey, the Huey.
Yep, the Huey. So for the 3-ax, they had the micro, which is the Gen 2, and the non-micro, which is the Gen 1. Again, for the 6-ax, there isn't a problem. A lot of people wouldn't recommend 6-ax magnifiers, but my eyes are... How do you say? I can kick doors open on IPSC stages with 3-ax prism, so I thought I might as well go with a little bit more. The eye box is tight, but at least on a fixed stock gun, it lines up pretty good. And this is a lot of fun.
Is it quick?
So, well, to bring it up, it's not bad.
Have it up on your shoulder. Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks good.
To bring it down, it's because if you're doing this, you're kind of going against yourself. So
whatever, just do it quickly. Yeah, it looks fine.
It's not bad. It is on this particular mount height. It is a little wiggly. I don't know if that's a demo thing or something. So I'm reaching out to Vortex about that. I haven't sent the email out yet, but you know what? If it's a problem, they're gonna fix it. So I'll be happy about that. This optic stack is really less about performance. Well, it's not completely performance-less, but it's less about performance than how I guess my video game career started. And I didn't even play that whole game through.
Did you go pro?
I didn't go pro. I was very not pro. What was it? Call of Duty 8, Modern Warfare 3, where you were in your first campaign, you were issued basically M4 with not a Huey, but the holographic from EOTech, and then you have a magnifier behind it. I ran a similar setup in Battlefield 4 for a while too, so that that fits the bill. And I like how I don't like dialing that much, so to me 1x or 6x is okay instead of 1x to 6x, and that gives me a place to put my Huey on. So that's good, and I'm shooting unlimited anyway, so I might as well max it out. And this would be what I consider the Vortex Deluxe, in case you're in action shooting. We'll let you know how it works. So far, the Huey hasn't slowed me down or failed me, which is...
Are you going to sight it in this weekend?
2 years now. At least I'll try. I'll try on Thursday. Well...
Make sure it's like dialed, right? Because Battlefield Bird is coming up. And
what's the longest shot?
You should be able to make hits at 300 and 400.
I can't test that. That's the thing. BTSA is short range.
Well, you can test to what? 200?
200, correct.
That's good enough.
That's good enough. All right, and then I had stuff from Prophet River that came in. With my elbows at the elevated position, I unboxed the American-made brass from Starline, 100 pieces. So that will get me through for a bit. 450 Bushmaster, of course. And then, with my elbow in more elevated position, I have some sub-ax Hornady 395 grain 452 caliber bullets. There you go. And here's a comparison. This is a Campro 250 grain 45 ACP bullet. And here's your big guy. So
chunky.
It'll be a lot of fun. It's one of the more interesting loadings for It's pretty much specifically for 450 Bushmaster. So I thought, well, Prophet had them. They only have one box, which isn't surprising. Who in Western Canada will be hunting with this thing? I don't even think any. I might be lacking knowledge on this. I don't think there's many places that have preliminary weapons, whatever you call it, like
Like
straight
an
wall.
early,
Yeah,
like an early hunting period for primitive weapons.
yeah. I know for Calgary and Edmonton, they have shotgun and muzzleloaders, but I don't believe they include straight wall. So
No.
also, again, American made. I have some. This is on the other spectrum. This is 160 grain pure copper. Part number is 30550. 160 grain TAC TX. 45 cal bullets. This is pure copper. So I don't know how fast I should be sending these. They are rated for 460 Smith & Wesson, so they will withstand. And I did talk to Barnes about it, and they said they'll fly just fine. Don't worry. But there isn't really established load data for that, so I'll probably start at like 200 grain low data, which they will be performing not at their possible max, let's say. And since I was reloading, I found a problem. As I mentioned before, it was been rainy, quite rainy, oddly rainy in Calgary this year. I started to have some browning on my dies, and I haven't been reloading much, right? It's not significant, and I got some ballast. I started wiping it. It does come off, and it doesn't seem to be affecting the inside, which is packed with lube for the most part. So it's not as bad. But do pay attention to your reloading hardware. If you haven't used it for a bit, and just give it a quick check, make sure it hasn't, rusted all the way through. You can see a little bit on the bottom as well.
Yeah, just a little bit of ballast on. Good wipe.
But here is an odd issue that I need to figure out. Just saying it won't impact Battle of Alberta, but hunting season is coming up soon. As I'm building my 450, these rounds I've loaded 5 grains of tight group, which is kind of stupid, out of this humongous case in comparison to that load, which is 445 ACP in a pistol. They don't plunk into my barrel. So there's some things going on. Again, I mentioned that my new barrel has the gas port drilled slightly clogged, so that's not a great sign to start. And then now this issue, but this is only the second time I've loaded with brand new brass. So that I haven't sized it. It came out of factory and I loaded in it. Some would say that's an acceptable practice. Some would say it's not. So now I have some cases lubed up and I'll go through them through the resizing die. And just to make sure, I also have factory ammo ordered from RDSC just to check if the chamber will work. A little bit odd, I guess, another snag in my building your own rifle part.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, another thing from Prophet. It's way too hot, so I can't wear it all day, but I got myself a Vortex hat that's blaze orange. You might ask, why would I? This was the hat I wore last year, and personally not a fan of baseball caps because my head is kind of big and not a lot of hat actually fit it. Second is I really don't like, I understand why they do it, to black out the cap portion to cut down on glare, but to my vision there's just like the sky is always a little dark.
You can actually see the sky? Really looking forward?
I can see a little bit of it. It's
Tony,
just I'll see like
that's it. I'm making an off-color joke.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like this is why I don't like wearing like coat jacket hats in the winter times, unless like my ears are frozen, just because I feel like I have way less situational awareness, and that in kind of like a hunting scenario makes me a little bit more anxious because like I'm missing something. I'm missing the action. There must be a deer around me. So I'll probably go with this for this hunting season.
It's nice because it's a little bit warmer.
Yeah,
I'd
that
rather
too.
run it pink
But
as
my
well.
hat is usually overheating unless it's negative 20 or below. So we'll see about that.
Mm-hmm.
How about Adriel? What have you done?
This last weekend I did a PAL RPAL. Pretty busy, surprisingly. So the PAL was sold out, and the RPAL I think I had like 7 or 8 people. Like it was not bad. No, not bad.
708 people is considered not bad. Oh, I guess my
Yeah,
class wasn't
yeah.
that big
Out of a
either.
total of 12. Like yeah, that's pretty good. Just while you were talking there, I was just looking at some different grip options for that 1911. So like last time I had these smooth ones on, which look good, but not that good for competition. I think for competition, you probably want. I got some G10 grips right here, and these things are
Ooh, these are
quite a bit.
these are not even cheap. These are from VZ Grips, right?
I don't know. I have had them for a long time, so they might outdate. Or if you prefer, you could have those grips on there.
Are they 3D printed?
Yeah, and they're
Oh yeah, they look
Glock
yeah, they look
perfection
horrible. I hate
on the
it.
1911.
No. You should say no wrinkle perfection on it.
Narenko perfection.
See? Fits better.
Fits better. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Glock perfection on the 1911, but yeah, I'll put those other ones. I was looking through my grips. I have a whole bunch. I've got like the classic rubber
Oh, these are
checkered
not very
ones, and
well. The rubbers are better.
some other wood checkered ones, but no, these G10 ones will be the ones to use definitely. So I'll stick those on there. Yeah, I have a bunch of grips. I should probably change. I don't know, maybe some of my other. I should have more 1911s. That's what I should have.
Ooh,
No?
Me too.
You too?
Yeah. There's something in the way though. I'm just not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, maybe there's some airsoft guns that, or maybe there's some pellet guns that are not that take 1911 grips.
There is a like certified by Colt Umarax M45A1, also in the peanut butter color scheme that's available for like $100 and some bucks. I thought about it. It will fit a 1911 holster too. So
yeah, this thing's got a light trigger. Did I pull the trigger on this thing last time we were on?
I don't think so.
Let's see what we get here. 2 pounds, 14 ounces, just under 3.
Competition grade. I'm
Pretty good.
I'm guessing it's not drop safe.
I don't know. Well, it's got that.
No, I thought for 1911s, just was the weight of the firing pin, it will actually light up the first round.
I can't remember if the firing pin has a spring in there or not. I think it does.
Unless you have a Series 80 gun. I don't know if No Wrinkles made them that way.
I don't think so. I mean, I could strip it off and take a look, but
well, just don't drop the gun. Yeah,
don't drop it.
It's a DQable offense.
Yeah. Plus, you'll die. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, getting that ready. I'm going to be really short of time because every weekend has something, and even like maybe even 2.
What's even coming up?
Oh, everything. I've got Maple
see,
Seed this weekend, double hitter.
Ooh, okay.
Weekend after that, I'm going motorbike camping and maybe some grouse hunting.
Where to? Saskatchewan? Places?
No, Hinton, like west of here. Yeah. Let's see what's.
I see a lot of people though. The national park is free right now.
I'm not going to the park.
That's fair. Just saying, it's probably people heading that way.
Yeah,
we imagine.
Let's see what do I got the weekend after that. There's something every weekend.
I think that's probably BOA.
BOA, yeah. There's BOA after that, and then I have a RPAL after that, and then I'm picking up vehicles and doing a wedding, attending a wedding weekend after that. And then I'm hunting and setting up blinds the weekend after that. And then the team match in Peace Rivers after that. And then the weekend after.
God. I see. People are still trying to convince me to go to the team match. Oh, no.
And then the weekend after that, I'm hunting. And the weekend after that, I've got PAL RPAL. And the weekend after that, I've got a PAL. And then the weekend after that, I'm hunt camp.
Oh,
I'm in the
you're hunting first without us, and then you're hunting with us.
yeah.
What?
I'll be hunting multiple times this year.
Fair.
Yeah, because like like earlier, I can go in some places and go for grouse and that kind of thing, and then later, well, deer opens up, right? So, yeah, and I think except for one of those, that wedding, I don't think. Oh, I might camp for that one. I might be camping for the next
Who camps for weddings? Jesus, man.
9, 10, 11, 12. Well, it's not near my home. It's far away, so I might camp for it.
Should drive the new fancy car.
Maybe I might. No, I'll be picking up the not fancy one that weekend.
Oh, what? The fancy one isn't coming yet.
No, the fancy one will be just after BOA. Like once BOA is done, I'm gonna finish BOA. I'm gonna get on an airplane, fly to Vancouver, pick it up, and drive it back. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's I'm in a hectic period right now, so it's kind of hard to get things done. But yeah, anyway, so I'm prepping up for this maple seed. And in prep for that, so at my PAL course, at pretty much every PAL course I do, I'm like, hey, I have like a standard joke at the start. I'm like, okay, well, you don't learn how to be John Wick at this thing. It's a basic safety course. That's all you get. But if you want to learn how to be a better shot, like you need to go something like Maple Seed. And everyone's like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. But no one ever signs up. But then for this last one, for whatever reason, like I had a couple people who are like, what's the information? We'll sign up right now. I'm like, oh, it'll be next weekend. I'm like, okay, where do we sign up? On this website? And there just so happen to be spots available. So I had a whole bunch of them sign up because, again, for someone who doesn't have a PAL, we can supply rifles and ammo. Maple Seed can.
What's the wait? If they don't have a PAL, you can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you mean like you can either way? It's just you can
either way
too.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a PAL, you can still show up to one of these things. If you don't have a gun, you can still show up to one of these things.
Did they at least pass the safety exam though?
Yeah, they passed that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I disinvite them if they don't pass that because it's pretty easy.
Yeah. What changed? What do you think changed?
I think it was the attendees. The attendees were just like, I had a couple of people in there who were just gung ho about learning more. They were taking the PAL and the RPAL not for any good reason, but just because they wanted to learn a lot. So it was kind of like they were interested in the learning aspect rather than the like what they can do with it after aspect. So then when I told them about that, they're like, oh, we want that too. That sounds fun. It's like, yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm thinking, is there like a particular demographic? If they're younger?
Well, no, one guy his son was like really into shooting and wanted to do more. I'm like, oh, you got to take him out to this. And there was a couple of ladies there. Well, no, his son was younger, and how's he supposed to get a handgun? Or a PCC.
PCC. Well,
how are they doing black badges right now?
There's news coming up. Don't spoil it. Remind me again.
Oh, I know what they're going to be doing.
Aha.
Yeah, mini rifle. Okay. Sorry, did I spoil it?
Well, there's more news to come, but yes.
Okay.
Mini spoiler. Mini spoiler.
Mini spoiler.
Mini rifles are coming. Yeah. It will be in the news.
Yeah. They have to, right? How like there's nothing else. There's nothing else that you could do right now unless you're like grandfathered into a handgun.
You can do IPSC full-size rifle, but that is a lot more work.
And what full-size rifles are left?
You can have your bolt actions. That's a division. Ruger wrench.
This is there's PRS, and that's for bolt actions. And
you can't
convince me to do action shooting.
You can have manual action contemporary right behind me, dominating that division since 2023 in BTSA. No one competed. Maybe.
And you can have your SKS or M1 Garand, or you can have I don't know, some other junk.
That's not going to be. Yeah. Yeah, I think all these I might be wrong. I think all these semi-auto divisions have optics. So you're putting optics on a.
What optic are you going to put on a semi-auto? There's like.
Right, I'm just saying.
You'd have to get that ACDAS Alcor. You'd have to get that one, make sure it runs properly, and you could put an optic on that. I suppose you could put an optic on your M1 Garand or your SKS, like a little
but that's just difficult.
And I mean, it's better. Like I would rather have a red dot on my M1 Garand, but at the same time, I don't because it looks not like it should.
What did Tristan say about the FGC 9?
Nothing since last.
What? I
But like
was
that's not a viable option.
well, that's
Anyway,
a PCC, right?
Yeah, so for IPSC, I think like there'll still be the pistol shooters who are grandfathered in and still running them, but for new people, there's PCC's toast. There's
shotgun's
the
coming.
better, but yeah,
they've done it before.
Shotgun's doable.
Shotgun's coming.
I'd shoot IPSC shotgun if it was available around here. I'd do that.
But then you have to redo your black badge course. And yes.
I guess, yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah. Yeah. So I've been doing that kind of stuff, setting up for Maple. So for this next Maple Seed coming up, like we're supposed to requalify once per year. So I'm going to bring some. I'm going to bring my gamer gun out to requalify for the Maple Seed.
Is it a red dot gun or is it not a red dot gun?
For my Maple Seed, I'm going to bring my Norinco bolt action.
That's somehow the gamer gun. Did you ever get warranty support on that gun? Not that one.
For it. No, I need to send it in. I need to send it in. Yeah. I'm just so busy with with so many things. This week, every weeknight, I've got something going on. So
what?
Yeah, it's hard to get away and get that kind of stuff done. So I got my my gamer Norinco bolt action, and I got my gamer 22 setup as well that I'll be bringing out. And if I don't use it, I suppose I could loan my gamer, at least the semi-auto one, to an attendee that needs a gun. But yeah, I think, and I've got to pick up some food and all that kind of stuff for that thing as well, because I'll be camping out at Sherwood Park again. Weekend after that is motorbike camping, and the week after that is BOA. So I've been also packing my stuff up for BOA. So I've got my ammo packed up, and I think I'm gonna start looking at my belt and making sure that's set up properly and all that jazz. Because that's got to be set up properly. Yeah, and this weekend Maple Seed doubleheader. So we'll be doing some Maple Seed now at Sherwood Park. Let's get on to events. So Maple Seed, I think, did I see that there were still spots at that Sherwood Park one? Let me just take a real quick peek here. The Sunday, if anything, it has tickets. Probably just one. Two remaining tickets for Sunday. I'm surprised. Anyways, there's 2 tickets available this Sunday for Sherwood Park. And then Ontario, there's going to be a ladies' seat on September 13th in Blue Ridge. And then same day, there's going to be a regular one at Smith Falls, September 20th at Eganville, September 21st at Rocky Rod and Gun Club. Oh, I should put that link on their website. September 27th at EOSC, October 4th at Peterborough, October 18th to 19th at Stittsville. I think that's about it. So Ontario's got a whole bunch in the late end of the season coming up here. Myself, I've got September 13th, 14th for PAL RPAL. The 13th, there's still a couple spots available, and the 14th, no one signed up for the RPAL yet. But maybe that'll change. Maybe they'll change, right?
It's a little bit of a gap for you to do that too. It's
about
once a month now, yeah.
Yeah, once a month in between. Unless I set up some other things or I get some private classes going, yeah. For 3-gun matches, Chaz BOA still has some spots available. That's September 6th and 7th. And then August 30th, there's one at Sherwood Park. And then there is the team match that is, I was just looking at it. Team match, October 4th and 5th at Peace River, which is also a great time. You can come out to that one too.
There might be some personal events going around that time. I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. News. I think you got most of the things on here. You want to talk about them?
Yep. So the first one is, willing or not, mini rifles are coming to at least Alberta for now. So that's good. It was more or less a controversial idea in the IPSC circle.
Why
It
was it
looks like
controversial?
I think what Taylor told me and a few other members told me is they don't want to indicate to the authorities that you can play this game with 22 only, and they would say, okay, then everyone should just learn from the UK and shoot 22s,
Yeah, I suppose.
which is a very well, as
I
I
think they're going to
mentioned,
ban everything regardless. So
yeah, it's
who
just
cares?
our
Who cares about any
government.
of this stuff? I mean, a lot of guys will talk about, ooh, we should like maybe not talk about it, or some people say we should talk about it and share it and that kind of thing. And I just don't think any of it matters. I don't think any of it matters to politicians who are putting these bans in place. Do whatever you want to do.
At this point, I don't think it matters. Our
Mm-hmm.
government cannot be reasoned with at this point. At least, well, on a lot of topics, on this topic especially, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you going to do about it? I think the first match is coming up for Mac on the 23rd. Is it this month's 23rd? I thought so.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty quick here.
But yeah, Ken Hum at P3 Shooting Specialties. He is also a black badge instructor, and he will be doing mini rifle black badges in the Edmonton area as well. Imagining that the Calgary area will pick that up as well. It's unfortunate the PCC black badge has only ran for half a season. I'm grandfathered into the whole pistol thing, so I can compete with a pistol, which is good. But I need to think about it. Do I jump back in before my 1 year limit is up, so I re-up my IPSC membership, or I just let it lapse and recall later?
Well, you have actually like matches local to you that like the IPSC Shotgun and that kind of thing that the
IPSC Shotgun hasn't happened yet officially.
It will.
Right, but then my 1 year is coming up, right? I think mine is like, I want to say September. That was my last match, so it's pretty close. Yeah, but mini rifles happening, and I will include a link to the IPSC Alberta mini rifle discussion group on Facebook in our Discord channel, so you can join that, take a look at what people are running and how their experience is with their platforms. I see the two more popular ones are custom 1022s, and a few people are trying the more modern sporting looking what's the turkey gun called? The Dara 22. That's that one. So yep.
That thing's gonna get banned.
You're saying
not to jinx it, but the last time there was a ban, we were like guessing what they would nail, and it was like, oh, the SKS, Garand, and the TM22, because they're banning 22s now, and I was surprised to see it get passed. Not happy. Like I want it to stick around. It's just they seem to be banning anything that looks mildly scary.
I don't think they would do it because, or I would think they would ban it when they ban either the Savage 64 or the A22, because on the base model,
those don't look scary.
Well, there's also the base model Dara TM22, which doesn't look scary either. So yeah. I'm assuming they're looking at all the base models and making a judgment from that instead of all the body kits. Just because the GSG in their default configuration already looks quote unquote scary. That's my, again, our government is not to be reasoned with at this point. So what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. There's that. What was that Bullpup 22 that I was trying to review, and I just didn't get enough time, and it was a piece of crap.
Oh, it's by the prestigious manufacturer in Italy. What did Mo shoot?
Tenfo.
Tenfo.
Yeah, Tenfo. Yeah, the Tenfo Appeal.
It's a good name.
Now that, like, for anyone who doesn't know, it's not a particularly scary looking gun. But that one got clapped in the last, not in the last one, but maybe like one before that, and it's I don't know. Is that scary looking?
It looks space guy enough.
It looks like a space gun, but when you actually put it in your hands, you're like, ooh, gross.
Do you think these people ever held a gun?
No.
Yeah, see? They
But at the
don't
same
care
time,
about.
like, what an odd gun to ban because it wasn't used in any shootings or anything like that.
Please refer
Because it would
to
jam.
the. Please refer to Mr. Runkle's Buttmaster. Why would you ban that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Um, Sorry, I think I interrupted you. You were talking about mini rifle and TM22. Yeah, TM22 is going to be the gamer
TM22s, yeah.
rifle if you can get one that runs because they're a little bit hit and miss. Other than that, like a Savage or a tricked out 1022 that's running the Tough 22 mags. I think that's the more flexible option, the more configurable one, but also still kind of picky with mags and still going to give you
That
some
means I
jams.
need to shell out more cash to build my 1022.
No, you have an 822. Just use that.
Fair, but I still want to build a new one.
Okay, build a new one then, because I would be a horrible hypocrite
Pre-choke,
if
yeah.
I told you not to build one when I've got a couple custom built 1022s.
It's always hanging over your head, like when is the banhammer going to come down? You never know.
And if right for
And if
1022s and that kind of thing, I think they might get away with it because they have those limited mags. But who the heck knows? Who the heck knows, right? And I think when it comes to 3-gun, at least the major clubs in northern Alberta, they're running. They have a mini rifle division, and they're all doing one division for large cap and one division for limited, so like 10 rounders. So if you run a 1022 and you don't want to run the unreliable magazines, there's going to be a division where you can run the 10 rounders and just like get some belt clips and hold lots of mags on you, right?
well, generally IPSC don't bend their rules for particular locales though.
Oh, I'm not
So
talking about IPSC.
right.
I'm talking
For
3-gun.
3 guns,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
for sure.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
believe for both divisions in IPSC, it's gonna be 30 rounds max.
Then you're gonna have to run the extended mags
Yeah.
because it's way too big of an advantage. Like changing mags is slow on a 1022, and like on a handgun, you can drop and you can have that next mag like up and going into the gun before the other mags even hit the ground. But on a 1022, you have to drop, then go down, then grab, and then just charge it from the side. It's just never going to be as fast. None of them are particularly fast like that. Even the TM22, you're going to have to. Well, no, that one you can drop the mag with your index finger.
Is it gonna drop free though?
Not
Also, do you
not
really want to
reliably.
smack that magazine right into the ground? I don't.
Yeah, yeah, I would drop my mags. Yeah, they're plastic, they're lightweight, right? They'll be fine.
Springs flying.
A possibility.
Oh, yikes.
But like I dropped my 597 mags, and they like I don't know if you remember, but like they're all
Yeah, the
cracked at the
cracked.
back here. Yeah, they're all like that. Even this new one is like that. So I think it's
Well,
just
a lot of the UK people are still running AR-22s because that's legal.
but
So
not out here. So
I know, but that's the performance choice. Let's put it
yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah. We don't really have a. No, I think the 1022 with the tough mags, like a really tricked out one with some nice parts on it, is still the performance way to go. Like you can build a really lightweight rifle, like I've built with that LPC
That's true. We
chassis
can
and
have
light.
SBRs easily.
Yeah, yeah. You can go with a pretty lightweight, fast little gun. Uh, and then you just need to choose something that runs your extended mags well, and then make sure that your extended mags run, and make sure you've got ammo that runs properly in it, and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. You got a story here about man arrested after assaulting an intruder inside his home.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing ever. I guess Ontario be Ontarioing. It is an article on CTV where someone came in, barged through the door, and he was charged. The intruder was charged with possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose and breaking and enter.
Mm-hmm.
The defender and owner of this place was charged with assault with a weapon following it and
And
aggravated
aggravated assault.
assault.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they said what weapon it was.
It's odd. Like they're not releasing details right now, and they
I'm
said so. Like the police did a press conference, but it's odd that someone can break into your house with a dangerous weapon, uh, and then when you like beat them up or
defend
whatever,
yourself. Yeah, that's not okay. So
I would
I,
imagine that this person talked too much and said too much to the cops.
could
They should have
be.
been like, "Hey, this guy's unconscious on my ground. Oh, how'd that happen? Talk to my lawyer." I'm not saying anything because oh well he broke in, I beat him up, and he was on the ground. I kept boot stomping him. Oh well now, or
Yeah,
I
you're
hit him
not.
with this bat and knocked him out, and I just keep beating him just to teach him a lesson. Oh well there and now all of a sudden you're getting charges, right? Because in Canada we have intent based laws which are terrible, and you need to make sure that you don't say too much to the cops, or else they can hit you because you said the wrong thing. Don't
Yeah,
talk to them unless your lawyer's there.
in the U.S. you will call it I plead the fifth, or in Canada
Oh
you
no, in the
just
U.S. the police would be thank you for helping
thank you
us.
for
Thank you
beating
for
them up.
cleaning
That's
up the
great.
streets and getting rid of this scum.
And
Yeah, but
saving taxpayer money. It's great.
no,
Um,
not so much here.
yeah, but yeah, in Canada you still have the right to remain silent and speak to a lawyer. That's the same. It's not the fifth because that's not how
You still
the
have to
laws are written.
self-identify, and there's a couple other things that you're required to do, but you don't have to sit. You don't have to say anything about what happened. Just be like, this guy broke into my house and he's sitting on the ground bleeding now.
No idea. No idea what happened. I'm assuming it is not a firearm because then the likely charge of careless storage will probably apply here. Usually the prosecutor will just throw everything at you.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't stick, then it doesn't stick. But if they don't throw it at you right now, they will lose that chance to do so. So I'm going to assume,
Yeah.
but it's unfortunate news that, I don't know, self defense does not apply in Canada, whatever you want to say, I guess. Unfortunately.
Well, I
3
mean,
a.m.
like it's becoming a bigger topic. So maybe this is something that is gonna be because like Ford was talking about this, Premier Ford, right?
Right, right.
Um, was talking about this whole idea and how this is kind of a travesty. So maybe this is going to come up in the future as something that like, hey, we went too far with this, and maybe if someone breaks into your house, you should be able to defend your house and do whatever you need to make that happen.
I would not hold high hopes, but I sure would hope so.
It depends how far the pendulum swings back, right? We're
That's
just at
true.
the cusp of the pendulum starting to swing back on some of this stuff. So something's like some of these things are going to come back. I'm not sure which. It was actually the conservatives that brought in our current self-defense rules and made them
Really? How long
kind of
ago was
competent.
that?
It was a while back, but they brought in this whole idea of like reasonableness and like reasonable force to use, and the variables that they have to take into account are insane, absolutely insane. So, like, do you know that whether you can do this or not in your own house? Oh my god, it's so complicated,
Call
so
your lawyer
complicated.
first.
Yeah,
Hopefully you
so
got the answer before you die.
I mean, it's kind of kludgy, but in the U.S., like the castle doctrine or like the stand your ground, there's a ton of potential for that to go the wrong way, but it's nice and simple. It says what you can do, says what you can't do. Whereas in Canada,
Don't, don't
it's
run. Don't shoot at people who is retreating. It's
yeah,
like that.
in general, but there's still some like, oh, he's retreating to get his gun. Okay, well,
Right. For
shoot him in
sure.
the back, I guess. Um, Yeah, yeah, I would like to see some laws that clean this up and make it a little bit more, homeowner friendly, I guess, on some of this stuff and a little bit less criminal friendly. Although I guess technically now this homeowner is a criminal or going charged, at least charged. They might get off, when if they took this to trial, maybe they'd convince the jury that, especially now, that, that's not the correct answer. Uh, Next one I got up here is, the county government's promising, trust me, bro, we'll do the complete gun back. We'll have it in place by the end of next year. Just 2 more years, bro.
Do you think they're gonna go to the last moment, like how it did last year, for the amnesty to be extended?
Well, they have to extend. There's another amnesty that's coming up in October here, so they're gonna have to extend that one. So they're extending that one, and they're pushing this out a year and a half. They typically promise that they're going to get this done like 2 years in the future, and then 2 years comes, and it's like, actually, we haven't done anything. Or maybe they've just got some businesses to sell some of their inventory that's been sitting on their shelves, collecting dust. But yeah, that's anyways, they say the deadline will have to be pushed back. Trust me, bro, no later than the end of 2026. It says the scheme is in its final stages of design and will be completed no later. Will the design be completed no later than the end of 2026?
This is an interesting English question. I should ask a native English speaker about.
Well, no, government is purposefully ambiguous sometimes when they
exactly.
want to promise anything. Politicians generally don't like to be nailed down to promises, and this would be nailing them down to a promise. Although he's saying he warned hesitant provinces and law enforcement agencies as their obligation to implement the law, but it's not. It's not their obligation to implement a buyback. Implement the law in terms of like criminal law, sure, I guess, but a buyback.
Is this not criminal law though? You can't possess these things, so we have to take it
But,
away.
okay, but who's taking them away and how? Oh, I force you now, Tony. You have to collect these things from people, and then maybe you have to go door to door and collect them because we know that they have them. So you have to send some officers to these locations where we know people are armed and something might go sideways, and you have to do that. You don't want to do that.
I'm trying to think because every time I think more about this question, I found this is a very unique scenario that hasn't really happened in history. I'm trying to think what's the last time a forced confiscation of things has happened in Canada or the US, really.
New Zealand had one very recently.
That's true.
Yeah.
What did they do? Did they knock on everyone's door?
No, it was entirely voluntary, and
Yeah,
I
so
don't
I'm guessing.
believe. Yeah, I think it's just been very low compliance rates to the point where why even bother doing it? I believe, but who knows, right? You never know that the numbers that are really going forward with these things, but
They're gonna finish the design 6 years later after 3 elections. Jesus.
what's the design? Yeah, so it sounds like other than some threats to the police agencies, they don't really have any ideas on how this is going to go down. Because within Alberta, I believe we have a law where anyone seizing firearms needs to be licensed by the province to do it.
Similar in Saskatchewan as well. So
And the province
really hard to
license,
implement.
The province won't license anyone.
License Terry Bryant. Here's our top firearm confiscation officer.
Yeah. Anywho, that's not news. Them saying like just trust me, bro, we'll get it done by the end of 2026 is like it has to be politically expedient. It has to be strategic. If it's not either of those things, they'll just kick the can down the road again.
But I just don't see if it's politically advantageous to really do anything. You got to keep milking the cow, right? Supply management. You got to manage the supply of your gun ban provinces. The only people that's mad is us, and then Police SUVN.
And it play like if they need to get votes in Montreal and Toronto, this plays well for the Liberal Party. But
just ban one extra. We're
We're
gonna ban the SKS because reasons. It's a Soviet military style rifle used for battlefield, designed to kill the most amount of people in the shortest amount of
time. And in the 40s, and
in the 40s,
it was obsolete,
which is in the future.
In a year. Yeah. All right, let's move on to new gun stuff, I guess. Talk about that for a bit. This first one I've got.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe RCMP got a new hire at the firearm lab or something. They've turned.
I don't know.
Young people would say based for some reason. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, the VSS Vintorez was approved as restricted, but still approved.
I don't understand how it no one tried this before.
Introduced in 2016. Oh, what version is this? 2016.
Must be some kind of a civilian. Molo
762.
arms.
Restricted,
Made in
semi-automatic. I mean, it looks correct for it. Yeah. AS Val, VSS Vinterez are the references, and those are full autos. How odd. How odd that this one got a non-restricted FRT. And Tactical Imports. TAC Imports got the FRT through. Well, that's going to be exciting.
Well, how much is it going to be?
Expensive. Very expensive.
Is there embargo for Russian firearms right now or no?
Probably.
Interesting nonetheless. It looks like to be more of a sporting type, 7.62-39 instead of the 9x39. Way more rare. So you can.
Could you imagine? You'd have to. Well, actually, how hard is it to make 9x39? Is it a true 9mm?
No, it will be Russian 9. Well, it might be Makarov. Well, same diameter, I guess.
Because then you just neck up a bunch of 7.62x39 cases. It wouldn't be that bad.
Wow, you got to do it with brass cases. That's reprogrammable. You don't want to do it with. Although I've seen someone post it, there is a RCBS Burdem primer removal and reinstallation kit.
Oh, that's a waste of time. That's
I know, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what it takes to keep some of the older firearms alive.
Yeah. Anywho.
And they also approved the FGC 9.
Yeah, I think we talked
last
about
week.
that
So
last week, yeah.
Interesting turns of events. Maybe they're trying to gather up more firearms so they can. We banned 2 extra models. It's the 10% increase in what we planned. It's great.
Look at this thing that we banned.
It's a Russian firearm designed to kill the maximum amount of people in the shortest amount of time, and the other one is being used in a civil war in what's the country?
I think these were Myanmar, special ops kind of guns, right?
Fully 9x39s, yeah. Integral suppressed full autos.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, Russian export. I don't know how they're going to get these in country, but I guess we'll see. Next one up here, Gunworks. They have a very fancy carbon fiber bipod. Very, very fancy.
How long is it? It doesn't seem that long. By the way, for listeners, the price is $550 Canadian.
500. Well, it's Gunworks, so it's not going to be cheap. Yeah, $550. I wonder how different it is from all the other carbon fiber stuff that's out there.
It is pretty tall. It's 3 sections.
Yeah, that's pretty normal to put in. Well, no, let's see. What's with 5 to 19? Okay, well, that's a pretty good difference in length. 5 to 19 inches. That's a lot. Yeah. 550. Whew.
Carbon fiber, though. Must be lightweight.
Yeah. But you can get these shorter bipods and that kind of thing, like the carbon fiber. Like they're making them in China by the gajillions right now. So you can get this kind of stuff it's right around $200 or $300. Most of them. But like,
what if you need it to be tall when you're on top of a mountain where there's grass everywhere and you're trying to shoot that antelope over there?
Yeah,
or something.
Over here. Like this guy right here, right?
That's a tripod.
Yeah. It's got one more leg. Should be 50% more expensive, right?
It's way longer legs too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because they start out as.
This will be way heavier though.
Yeah. How do they get the extra segments in there? Oh, because that's a locking ring as well. Okay. Yeah. So
it has a unique design for the second section that uses a silver ring instead of the twisty tripod.
I bet you it's still a twisty because that's the way that all these guys are doing a collet locking ring on these things.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, neat. Okay. If you're looking for some 338 Lapua, International Shooting Supplies has some Nosler trophy grade stuff.
Wow. Oh, that is
Tony,
expensive.
338 Lapua is
Holy.
expensive. Yep. It's a 189 for a box of 20.
Almost 50 BMG prices. Jesus.
It's a bit up there. It's a bit up there. Yeah. But I haven't seen that
10,
stuff for sale. So,
$10 a shot.
uh-huh.
I saw my $2 a shot is pretty expensive, but
It is. But yeah. Corwin Arms has some G11 and G1889s on sale. These are like the precursor to the K31. I had a 1889 before. It was kind of a neat gun. You have to reload for them. They originally
are they straight pulls as well?
Yes. Yeah, they're straight pulls as well. But the locking lug, instead of being at the front, is at the back. So they can't take nearly as much pressure. So even though they're 7.5 by 55, like the Swiss, and you wouldn't want to use like the full power stuff in these. You have to reload. They originally used a paper patched bullet.
Wait, what?
Yeah, paper patch, like a lead bullet paper
How
patch.
do you paper patch and then have a straight pull? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, just the bullet's paper patched. It's in a cartridge still. So
what? Okay, cool.
Okay,
Don't know that.
Before those copper jackets, they tried other things to make lead able to go down the rifling, because that was the primary speed limit on lead was like it'd strip out in the rifling. So they paper patched them for a while. They would take like some sturdy paper and wrap the bullet with it, and that would allow it to go down the rifling and not strip out the lead. And they'd load up a full cartridge like that. Anyways, that's yeah, because like these things are from like 1890, 1889, and they're old, right?
Whoa, they have Remington Mosins? Cool. Bottom left.
Check Mauser. Beer Bruno. Oh, with no bolt. It looks good. Kind of a rough condition. Some Mosins.
Yeah, Remington. So US contract Mosins. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking, one of my PAL students was like, hey, what kind of surplus rifle should I get? I'm like, well, there's this or that or the other thing, but probably a 303 or something is really what you want.
You want a Carcano.
Or a Carcano. I mean, the Carcano is the cheapest, like still legit, like that's the military rifle, non-sporterized, and you can still get ammo for it. Profit River's got Taylor and Company revolving carbines out. So if you're looking for something
4440,
4440 or 45 Colt, or they had some 357s, but I think they're out of them.
Price is not too bad. 1449.
Mm-hmm. For either one, the 45 Colt or for the 4440.
I'm guessing they're all the same price. Just sold through is 357, which will likely be the most popular.
Yeah, easiest to. Although I wouldn't mind getting a 45 Colt. It's got a little bit more stank to it.
Not really. 45 Colt is designed for really low pressure, actually.
Mm-hmm. But it's gonna have more than the 357 Magnum. I don't know. And the other thing with these is like with your cylinder gap, you lose a ton of power out of these things, anyways.
That's true.
Why even bother? Anyways,
looks cool. If you want a revolver, but you don't have a RPAL, or you have a RPAL, but the current situation is like this.
Mm-hmm. Hey Kyle, how's it going?
Not bad. How about you?
Not bad. Good. Talk about guns. Talk about milsurps. Tony, for milsurps. So actually I have that email I sent to that guy because I was talking about like current pricing and that kind of thing. Right now, the Mosin I would say is the worst buy. I would not get a Mosin because the cost is so high and the actual performance, like usability of it, is terrible. The bolts are like they're not a great shooter. The Carcano is going to be the most inexpensive. It's going to be better if you can reload for it.
Be expensive to feed it with factory for sure. I think PPU is
$2 around unless you reload. Yeah. Enfield's probably like one of the better options, especially a sporterized Enfield. They're so inexpensive. They're such a good price. You can get a non-sporterized one for around $600, and then you've got something authentic that has that 303 10-round mag, great bolt on it. There's the sporterized Swedish Mausers. Those are also really good for, again, if you don't care about the history of it. There's a $300 rifle that's pretty beefy. I mean, that's pretty much it. There's really SKS.
Yeah. One of the last semi-autos.
M1 Garand.
M1 Garand, if you step up the budget a little bit.
I think I like the M1 Garand. Like out of our rifles right now, I think it's one of the better ones that's still available, but it's going to get banned. That's my pessimistic outlook on life. The M1 Garand is going to get banned, so I'm going to use it at every competition I can until it does. Yeah. Anyways, I think we're pretty much ready for our main topic, aren't we, Kyle?
Yeah, I see Justin just popped in. So.
Hey, Justin, how's it going?
Good, yourself?
Fantastic. Cool. Kyle, you going to run the main interview?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
All right, so for our main topic, we got Justin, aka Tank, on to talk about his trip over to Hungary for the European Shotgun Championship. So, Justin, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Awesome. So yeah, why don't we right off the bat tell us what you did? What did you do?
Well, I guess I'll start with so I went to the European Handgun Championship or Shotgun Championships in Hungary. I'll start with how you apply. And in Canada, since not many people wanted to go, all I do is send an email, and I was accepted to go. So not anybody that has a black badge could have gone to this.
So easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was it's quite easy to get into. I think it was about $800 to go. And it was 4 days, 6 stages per day. So, and then it broke down to 20 birdshot stages, 2 slug stages, and 2 buckshot stages. But I can start with flying over there if you guys want, because I know you did a little bit of a topic about that a week or two ago.
Yeah, that's been kind of a common topic is flying with guns. So yeah, and that's perfect for international getting over into Europe with firearm.
Yeah, so I flew with Air France. With them, you have to get pre-approved to fly with firearms. All I did was went online and talked to somebody through the chat. It took maybe 2 hours of waiting and giving them the dimensions and the weight of the gun case, and they approved it. It was pretty straightforward, really. It was honestly no different than flying domestic or just to the US. Same with you show up at the airport, you fill out their declaration form, except for Air France. They didn't have a carbon copy, so we had to wait like 20 minutes while the guy walked over to a photocopier to make 3 or 4 copies for us. But, I went 3 hours ahead, so we had lots of time to worry about all that stuff. And then to get into Hungary, they said no permits needed, just show up, go to customs, and request a permit once you get there, which was not ideal. I would have liked to have known ahead of time that it was approved. But
yeah,
we showed up at the airport. We're in a little terminal, and there's nobody at the customs. I finally see a phone number or a phone, and it says, call this number if you need customs. So I call them. They said, okay, we'll send somebody over in like broken English. About, I don't know, 15 minutes later, somebody shows up. He walks us to the other terminal where the majority of the customs is. I show him the guns, the serial numbers, all that stuff, just right in the middle of the open, because that's what he wanted to see it. And he took all my paperwork, passport, everything. And about an hour later, he came back, because my wife and I are just standing there like, what is he doing? But an hour later, he finally came back with everything. He said, okay, pay me. And he actually put it in his phone because he didn't know it in English. And I had to pay I think it was $15, $20 Canadian worth. And that was it. So it was just a lot of waiting after, flying all day.
Yeah, not really knowing the full process beforehand. That's interesting.
Yeah. Even on the ESC website, they just said all you have to do is just, they gave a form you could fill out ahead of time so you had all the information there, which I did. But yeah, they just said nothing pre-approved. You just have to show up and get a permit. It was all handwritten permit too, just out of like a little booklet. So I'm not sure what took an hour. Maybe they just didn't know what they were doing because they hadn't had too many yet. But luckily, there's no issues.
Yeah, well, that's good. A little bit of wait and a little bit of unknown, but at least it was actually relatively smooth from the sounds of it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Just being tired and having to wait was not fun.
Yeah.
And then so I don't know. I've never rented a car in Europe before, So that was actually easy, except for in Europe, you have to pay a huge deposit for a rental car, and it varied anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 deposit. Like obviously, you get it back if the car's in good shape, but the rental itself was like $300, but the deposit was $2,500 for the because I went with budget because I wanted to go with a company I at least knew.
Yeah.
But so that was a little strange. But the speed limits over there, I forget what they were, but like 130 kilometers an hour. They were quite high, so that was nice.
Open up, have a little fun.
Yeah, exactly. In the Toyota Camry. So yeah, the match itself was at a new range. It's huge range in the middle of nowhere. It was about an hour and a half from Budapest. We stayed on a lake, and it was about a 25-minute drive from the lake to the range. It was really nice range. But and they had shade on every stage, which was definitely needed because the coldest day I shot was 35 Celsius, and the warmest was I think 42 Celsius.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, and like full sun every day, and I managed to get a head cold from flying most likely. So the hottest day was my worst day, and I was just so drained by the end of it. You know, sick and trying to shoot in the heat. They had some water you could buy, but I brought a cooler luckily, and just you couldn't keep up with how hot it was. Even at 9 o'clock at night, went out for dinner, and it must have still been 33, 34. It was just unreal. The heat over there was crazy. So that was something to get used to. Because I want to go to Greece next year. So this was kind of my trial for. I'd never done a level 4, let alone travel to Europe with guns. So I wanted to do that before I go into the Worlds next year, and I'm glad I did. It was I learned a lot, and also learned that shotgun in Europe is a lot better. Yeah, I don't know. The stages were obviously the normal 3-2-1, 3 small, 2 medium, one large course. I would say the slugs and the buckshot were all short courses. You never had to reload on them.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the slugs especially.
Yeah.
But they had a very good variety of stages. They really liked double clay swingers. They had a lot of those on the stages, and if you timed it right, you could get them both in the first pass if you're aggressive enough. I found I wasn't being aggressive enough on most of the stages, but I think that was just partly being sick and just the first international shotgun match. I was kind of being a little too cautious with my shots, as you can
That's
imagine.
fair.
Actually, funny little story is the first day, I think it was our third stage. I shot not a great stage. I had one no shoot, and I was just a little bit slow on my reloads, and I ran dry at one point because I had a miss. And then the clay swinger comes up, and there's only one on it. So I shoot it, and I finish. I shoot a popper, and I finish. And I look over at the RO, and he doesn't say anything. So it's like, that's a little weird. He didn't say anything about the no popper. And so they score it, and they're like they wanted me to prove it. And I thought about it for a second, like, do I really want to reshoot on my first day at my first level 4? I was like, you know what? I want to reshoot. And they're like, no, it was there. I reset it myself. I said, well, no, it wasn't. So I was about to pull my camera out and show them a picture, but somebody else had actually videoed me. And it was clear as day that it was not on there. So they gave me a reshoot. And I was like, hey, we're going to test the reshoot gods today. And I actually shot it. It was actually my best stage of the entire match. I shot it 3 seconds faster and clean.
No,
so
there you go.
I used all my good luck up on that stage.
Hey, at least it paid off.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, your first level 4 match, how you've done the shotgun in Canada and actually a little bit down in the States too. How would you compare, like, what stood out different at this level match? And you said Europeans do it better. What was different? What really stood out?
For like European wise, they're just like the quad loading is unreal. Like I shot with a guy from New Zealand in my squad, and he got 20th overall in our division, and his quad loads were probably twice as fast as mine, if not more. It's just unreal. And I always thought I had decent quad loads. I knew I wasn't the fastest, but these guys just obviously I need to practice more. They definitely practice it a lot. But match wise, I think it's just as you get the bigger matches, you're going to get the more props. They had some like they definitely spent a lot of money on walls and props, and there was definitely a lot of low ports. Being 6'5" and a bad back, it wasn't my favorite. I would say at least a third of the stages had a low port, and when I say low port, I mean max 2 feet off the ground, probably less.
Okay.
So like that was the top port. So it was a learning experience on what I need to practice for next year for sure.
What about like tight no shoots? Like how tight were the no shoots?
They were definitely they were definitely tight. A lot tight. Like I find, especially when I shoot in the U.S., they like just wide open shots in general. Here in Ontario, it depends on who's putting the match on. You're getting a few more direct match directors putting on some tight no shoots, but there was some that you had to shoot if you weren't shooting a full choke, you were really testing your luck, and even then you still had to aim half off of a target to hit some of these because they were stacked on top of each other.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I remember from nationals, Paul, they had some where they were stacking. I remember that match. I was changing chokes every stage. So yeah, I'm definitely curious on how they approach their stages differently.
Yeah,
or if
I definitely changed chokes pretty much every stage. And like I have a diffuser just for slugs. Obviously, you change it for that, and your buckshot's going to have a particular one you like.
You're running a diffuser for slugs.
Yeah, I have the Briley diffuser rifle diffuser, and I find that it works the best with my slugs.
I have not tried that. I've only used diffuser for when it's just clays and just turn and burn.
Yeah. No, I found it actually seems to be the best for at least for my shotgun.
I'll have to try that. Cool. So what kind of okay, they had a couple slug stages. What kind of stuff was the slugs?
One stage was 2 half-size poppers at about 50 yards. So they're pretty difficult. And then it was like an X-shaped stage with the rest paper. I think there's probably 6 paper. And actually, sorry, I did lie. That one you had to do a quad load on. And then there's one of the paper had about half of it covered with a no shoot, maybe a little bit more than half. Oh. And then the other slug stage was, again, I think that one had 3 poppers at about 40 yards, and then a couple paper you kind of just hit on the run around some walls. And then the buckshots were, one was table start. You had to run up to the table, condition 2, and that one didn't have the low ports on it. That one was 8 paper, I think it was, or 6 or 8 paper. If I think it was 6 paper. Sorry, but that one was just kind of an X shape again, run around a couple walls. And then the other buckshot was trying to think what that one was. Oh, honestly, it was almost, that one was start anywhere, but that one had a low port where it made the most sense to shoot 2 at the back, run up, and then take a knee and shoot 2 through the low port, and then to the side on your knee to hit the last target that was in the open.
Okay.
They definitely had some good option stages where you could, depending on how you like to load and shoot, like you had some good options, which was nice to see. Like not just only one way to do every stage.
Well, and they were actual real options, not you could shoot it this way, but there was really only one way to be competitive.
Yeah, and there was some that was really difficult, honestly, to decide how to shoot. I would say there's at least a couple stages where maybe a third of our squad would shoot one way and another third would shoot another, and then the rest would kind of just do whatever they wanted. Like there was there was definitely some stages where it was actually really difficult to decide because it was a lot of movement, and you had to decide if you were going to wait for the popper to fall to hit these swingers, or if you were going to try and take another static steal while you're waiting for it. It was fun to try and plan that. I learned pretty quickly that I was going to stick with the New Zealander because he seemed to have pretty good plans. I learned pretty quick that he was good.
You had mentioned a certain term, and I don't think we've actually really talked that in depth about it. Just for our listeners, you want to go over the condition 1, 2, and 3 for the start?
Yeah, sure. Condition 1 is fully loaded. So for standard division, it would be 8 in the tube and then 1 in the chamber. Obviously, safety on for that one. Condition 2 is 8 in the tube, and you could have a ghost load, which if you know how to do that on your top of your lifter, and your safety can be off for that one. So you just have to rack it when you're about to start, and then you can start shooting. And condition 3 is fully empty. Normally, you can choose if you want to have it bolt forward or back. I have a condition 3 loader on my shotgun where you can actually put one just outside of the chamber, and as soon as they hit the buzzer, you can push it in, close it, and then load up your tube full. But
just for people watching, that condition 3 loader, it's literally this.
Yeah.
It velcros right underneath your ejection port, so you can just put the shell in there, and when it's time to go, pop it in, close your bolt, and then you can load.
I bought the one that just stays on there that collapses. I don't know if that was a collapsible one that you had there.
No, this is Magload. I think they do make the collapsible one though, but this is from before they made the collapsible, so it's just on Velcro.
Yeah, so I have the Magload collapsible one. It's just kind of nice because it's always there and it's out of the way. But they had one condition 3 stage where you were not allowed to have anything attached to your gun. So you couldn't have one on the match saver. You couldn't have one on your condition 3 loader, which I thought was a little strange, but it was in the stage briefing, so everybody had to stay the same. But one stage that I truthfully wasn't a big fan of, because I just kind of thought it didn't really prove anything, is your gun has to go on one table, your ammo has to go on another table. Ammo had to be loose.
What?
And it could not, like, obviously this is not for
Is that for your first load or all your loads?
That's the Canadian self-defense situation. Guns are in separate locations. You got to load it up. They're loose.
No, exactly. So all your ammo for that stage had to be in the box. And the box wasn't completely flat, and they would not let you double stack. So you couldn't kind of grab a quad load and throw them in. So we all kind of figured out, just practicing on the picnic table, put them sideways and kind of just get it so they didn't roll, and try and grab 4 and throw them in. It was a stage of, I think it was like 6 or 7 shots.
Okay, so it was at least a short course.
Yeah.
But
that would have been a struggle if you have to. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, how it worked out is if you ran dry, you'd have to run 15 yards back to go fill up again, kind of thing. So it ended up not being too bad. But
okay, with that in mind, I actually had a question on mag capacity over there. Like, could you have a 12-round tube on there, but you could only start with 8 in the tube?
Yeah.
So on that stage, if you wanted, like, it's a 6-round stage, so how that brings the question on how much you load 4 in there, but in theory you could just toss 12 in there, go, and now you have a makeup shot for every target.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it, I think it was actually 8, and what I did was I put 2 quads in, and then just grabbed a deuce and threw 2 more in it to be safe. I think I actually fumbled 1, so I only had 9 in the gun, so I had 1 spare. But yeah, so there I actually shot with I shoot a Versamax, and I was able to find was it Nordic? Their extendable
Nordic components.
Yeah, I have their extendable magazine tube, So it stayed out of the way, except for when you actually filled it past 9, I think, or 8 is when it starts to stick out a little bit further. So that was kind of nice to have. Like, it wasn't, I wouldn't say a mandatory thing, but there was a few stages where you wanted to have more than 8 in your tube,
Mhm.
just with having to stop for a load in the bad spot.
Oh yeah, it's nice having that option for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I have a the longer tube that sticks out really far that I've shot 3-gun with forever, but it's ideally you would want a collapsible one.
Really? But did they have that type of courses where it actually became an issue?
There was a few spots where I thought it would have been an issue. Um, there was a tighter walled area and a lower port, so you kind of had to crouch over. And I just felt that having that tube stick out an extra, I don't know how long, maybe 10 inches, it would have been a little bit tight to try and get around.
How long of a barrel are you running?
22.
Okay.
Most people had the collapsible
Yeah.
mag tubes. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I heard something. But please correct me or enlighten me, because the whole thing with the collapsible or the extendable mag tubes was for modified division because they had to fit in the box, but there wasn't anything stipulated about loaded how long they could be. So that was a modified thing at first.
So
now I did hear that they have since corrected that, where modified it's loaded length, not empty length.
Yeah, correct. So they have changed that, and I know a few guys that are trying to figure out what they're going to do. I forget the full length, but yeah, you basically have to have a short buttstock in order to be able to fit the full amount in a modified gun in the box. But with standard, there's no restrictions.
Right, just your starting condition. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, 8+1.
Yeah, it's just same as TAC ops for 3-gun.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, cool. So how about the match communication? I mean, you're coming from overseas. I imagine you reached out to organizers or some people. How was that, and what kind of tips can you give to people for if they're going to go over to something like that? And like, what was your overall experience with that?
Yeah, so I reached out to Matt, who's the IPSC Ontario president, and then he put me in touch with I think his name was Phil, who's part of IPSC Canada, and he set it all up. I just sent IPSC Canada the payments. They got me set up with everything it needs, like a portal, so you can put all your gun information in there. It was pretty straightforward. The website had lots of information on it. You really didn't have to contact them for anything. They had all the forms you needed. Like I said, there's one you could fill out just to bring to the airport.
But most of that management was, management or whatever was done by IPSC Canada.
Yeah, and then the people running the match had the website with all the information. They were pretty good. Like the squad matrix, like it didn't go out as early as I would have preferred, just because I would have changed my schedule a little bit. Ended up finishing Friday morning, and I could have left it earlier to go to Budapest to travel around, because I wasn't going to go to the banquet. But we're only there for a few days. I wanted to actually see the area. So
yeah.
But the match itself ran really, really well. We showed up, like you could pick when you wanted to check in on their website. I picked it the day before, the same day as the opening ceremonies, and it went super quick. There's like no lineup. They had tons of ROs there ready to do your equipment check. The matches, they had us start at 8 in the morning, and then this afternoon squad is supposed to start at 1. And I think every day we were done in 4 hours, maybe less, and six stages. So they went really quick. Like there was no downtime. You walked over to the next stage. They did their walkthrough. You got 3 minutes to walk the stages.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was. There was a couple of stages where it was really, really short.
And they were probably doing things legit the day before, where they had ropes set up and you couldn't walk out. You could only watch it from a distance.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so like I did walk like in front, like at the ropes as much as I could, just to kind of get a rough idea. But yeah, I know it's once you're on the stage, and then some ROs would do the last 30 seconds for the first shooter, some wouldn't. And of course, a couple of the stages where I was first, I didn't get that extra 30 seconds, which would have been nice because it's hard when you got a squad of like 10, 12 guys trying to, I think it was 10, trying to walk it in 3 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
there was
3 minutes is 3 minutes even on your own. No one else on the stage is it's pretty tight.
Yeah, there was one stage on the hot day. I was first. I can't remember. It was roughly 28 rounds, and I shot it really well. But it was really it was a memory stage. It was just so many angles to try and hit it, and where to hit your quad loads. And I shot it all, and I unloaded. I looked to my right behind a barrel. There's one target I forgot to shoot at, and that went. No. And like I had a killer time. I even beat the New Zealand guy, and until my penalty went on. Like I had a killer time too, and it was just like as soon as I looked, I'm like, man. That's so frustrating.
Yeah,
that's probably been nice to have another minute or two.
Probably one of the most frustrating things on a stage is, especially if you have a killer run and then it's.
Yeah, and I was kind of rushed too because how it worked out. I had shot last on the stage before that, and then I was first on that stage just because of how the tablets worked out. So I just was rushing to change my chokes, and I didn't walk it enough. But that's part of learning for future. Maybe if I would have just said I got to change my choke, I just shot, they would have given me an extra minute to deal that and do the walkthrough and not have to. I should have probably just done the walkthrough, then worry about doing the chokes after.
Yeah, in a situation like that, I don't really mind being the person to hold up another minute or something. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Nobody in my squad would have cared. Everybody was really chill. Like we had a really good squad, which I think, for the most part, in IPSC, you seem to, and just shooting in general, it seems like you usually have really good squads, right? I don't have too many bad experiences.
Yeah. What'd you do for ammo? I mean, obviously you didn't fly over with all your ammo.
No, I flew over with my buckshot and my slug just because I knew what those patterns and where those went. I just purchased their sponsored ammo for the match.
Okay.
Which pricing wasn't terrible. I think it was pretty comparable to what it would be here.
Would it end up be in the box?
I can't remember now. I bought that back in like April. Maybe $15 Canadian a box.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't think it was terrible. Like I want to say it was €10. So maybe a little bit more than
okay. Yeah, so I mean it's pricey, but I mean as long as
you have no choice.
As long as it's reliable.
Yeah, I had one light strike, and maybe it was something else, right? But that's the only thing. I never had any issues, no feeding issues. It was good ammo. It was a little bit hot and light, so it was 7/8 ounce. And when I did the conversion, it was like 1400, something like that. So
okay.
Because it's a meters per second or something.
I forget. I have a box here. They don't even. I think they do it in not even meters per second. They do it like in dram or something, or not even dram.
That's got to be like a 3.5 dram load. If it's, like, I'm surprised they're doing 7/8. Like that's pretty light for a semi.
Yeah, it's 1 sec. I'll grab one.
I always run 1 1/8 ounce because I don't care about recoil, and I want to hit what I'm shooting at.
Well, it's interesting because but when back in Grand Prairie, I had shotgun guys trying to get me to find high velocity 7/8 and try that with my Benelli. Because if it's high enough velocity, its dram rating's high enough, it'll cycle it. But like your normal off the shelf 7/8 is not going to cycle, especially inertia is not going to cycle it.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about that at first, but I had no issues. So the weight's 28 grams. And it's number 4 shot.
Number 4?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That was your bird shot?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
whoa.
That'll put the weight on.
Yeah.
So obviously you got a lot less pellets, but you're hitting it. And then
I thought there was a rule it couldn't be any bigger than 7.
Yeah. That's generally our rules.
We have out here.
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's something here because this is the actual like this.
I trust you. Yeah.
But
They have really beefy steel.
That's
then.
interesting. I
Jesus.
don't know if I'd want to shoot like that many stages of number 4.
Yeah, it's fine. 7/8.
Well, that's why it's
fair.
light, right?
it honestly, it shot about the same as like a 1200 ounce and an eighth kind of. Like I didn't really notice a difference.
Okay, well, actually, now here that actually raises a question. Did you notice a difference on your target impact compared to like your ounce and eighth doing about 1200?
I was worried about that. Truthfully, not really. I didn't get a chance to do a lot of practice. They had a range there that was one of the sponsors. I just kind of snuck on there and used it. I didn't really notice too much of a difference with my patterning. I'm just trying to see here. It doesn't say the speed. I can't remember it, but I feel like it was like 1400. I did the math when they first sent it out.
The 7/8, it'd have to be pretty high, even with a gas gun, to cycle that. So.
Yeah, and there wasn't too many other options. Like I think for the open guys, they were shooting something a little bit different, but it was more money, and I didn't feel like spending it because I didn't need it.
Yeah.
feel
And
like they will
obviously,
be
you
having-
didn't feel like the. Oh, go ahead, Tony.
No, sorry. I think like for forward shot, that would probably be better in terms of longer ranges. The energy retention might be better.
Way better.
Thought.
Way better.
Yeah,
So
for sure. It was just hard to know since I never got to pattern it when it would shoot out of your chokes.
Yeah.
They never had anything really far enough that I would have to really worry about it. It was more of the tight shots that I had to worry about.
Right.
Just the tight no shoots.
Yeah, and that's one of those. Maybe hold a couple inch if it's really that tight. Hold a couple inches. If you splash, then you move it closer for your next shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think after the first couple stages, we all kind of got the hang of it.
Well, that's really interesting. And obviously, you don't feel like it necessarily affected. Like you didn't take misses that you thought, oh, I would have had that with your normal
No.
ammo. That's
No,
interesting.
I don't think so. I ended up having 4 boxes left over, so I brought them all back.
Nice.
I definitely was over the 11 pounds on the way back, but nobody asked. But actually, that's actually the funny part about. So the airport on the way back, we have our guns, and they knew obviously. So we had to wait for customs. I don't know if they were customs. I think they were. Yeah, I guess they were. And 3 of them show up, bring us to a back room, and it was all kind of where the employees all enter into the airport, and none of them spoke English. So I was trying to figure out what they wanted. So at first I thought they just wanted to see the guns. So I opened the guns, and they're like, I figured out they wanted me to show them that it's clear. So I showed them the shotguns are clear, and then they actually had a little barrel. I forget what you call them, like to show clear barrel to actually shoot
like a
into.
discharge barrel.
Yeah. So I had to
Oof.
do that in this tiny little room with these three security guys beside me, trying to show them. And I was like, "You sure you want me to pull it out?" And like, I don't want to do something I'm not supposed to, do and get in trouble. But yeah, they wanted me to actually shoot in there and show that they were clear, and then pack them up, and then they took them from there. But it was definitely a odd experience, especially when no one
Okay.
speaks English. Yeah.
Well, I continually get surprised, even someplace like over Europe, where you think, you look at some of their pistol laws and some of the laws, and you think, okay, they're going to be a little bit more excited or unfamiliar, but it seems like they're actually fairly lax, just like in the States. They're pretty lax about it, that almost like it's a normal thing.
Yeah, no, in Hungary, it definitely seems like it was pretty relaxed about the guns.
That's good to hear. So you took this trip to prepare for Worlds. So
yeah,
what were your big takeaways? What are you working on that you didn't think you were going to have to, or that were like, what's your takeaways that what you're working on for Worlds?
Definitely quad loading. I'm bad for not practicing enough. Being more aggressive. I definitely, if I want to compete, I have to get more aggressive on my shots.
Let's break down being more aggressive. That could mean a million different things.
Yeah.
So being aggressive, how?
Well, simple things like the clay swinger. At first, I was double shooting them, so as they come up, you just one right away. I was as like the days went on, I got a little tired, and I wasn't being aggressive enough, and I was letting one swing by. So
Mm.
they swung quick, but you're still wasting half a second versus these top guys that are probably running faster than you and definitely loading faster than you. So I need to be more aggressive on definitely movers and just limit the small mistakes. Like I'm sure we're all guilty of it. You don't get the shotgun up right away after a reload, and you miss a wide open target. 7 yards away from you. I had one where I think I took 3 shots at it before I hit it. And it was right in front of me, but I was just you get flustered, you get worried, and you're trying to speed up, but then you miss the easy target, but you're fine on the harder targets. So definitely, consistency is huge for IPSC.
What about shooting on the move? I imagine shooting on the move would have played a big part in the level this match.
Yeah, definitely. Not as much as I thought.
Oh, okay.
I thought there's gonna be a few more kind of like run and gun, kind of like we do more in the US, or like we seem to do here in Ontario a little bit. There wasn't as much like, and the New Zealand guy we were talking, he basically stopped in every position, shot his targets, and moved. And that's because in New Zealand, they can only put 5 in their gun no matter what. So he's used to stopping a position, shoot 5 or 4, load a couple, move to another position, shoot. So I would say definitely shooting on the move is needed, but I didn't find it as much as I thought it would be.
Okay.
But one thing I'm trying to work on is getting into position beforehand. So guns up, on target as you get around the wall, ready to shoot. Whereas not, you get there, then pull it up, right? Like simple things like that will make a big difference for being a little more aggressive.
Cool. I guess overall, how'd you do in the match?
Not as good as I would like.
Yeah.
I think that's normal. I was 68th out of, I think there was 154.
Okay.
I think there was, between me and the 40th place person was roughly like 5%. So there's a lot of us in that in that 70% to 75% of the winner. So I think there's definitely few little mistakes here and there. Clean those up. I could have easily moved up quite a few places. So I know there's lots of room for improvement. Without, obviously, I don't think I'll be able to contend with the top guys by any means. But it was a really good match. I should say I actually went with another Canadian too. There's 2 of us from Ontario that went. But he actually, Nick, he traveled for 2 months across Europe shooting 7 level 3 pluses for shotgun.
Cool.
All over Europe. He went to like France, Italy, Spain. I can't remember where else, but he did tons of level 3 shotgun matches. So he had lots of good insight, and of course he knew every single person at that match.
Yeah,
that is super cool.
Yeah, I was pretty jealous, but you could tell he was a little homesick. But after 2 months, because that was the end of the trip when I saw him.
Yeah, that's a long trip, and I mean it'd be a fun trip, but yeah, after 2 months, I think he'd be more than ready to get home.
Yeah, and he was solo the whole time too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's a long trip.
Yeah.
Well, Adriel, Tony, you guys got any more questions?
I do. Sounds like Ontario's leading the charge for IPSC Shotgun. Have you guys had like provincials or like level 2 matches going on as well?
Yeah, so last year we had a provincials and at least 6 level 2s, if I can remember correctly. This year there hasn't been quite as many level 2s. There's been 3 or 4 for sure. Provincials is the first weekend of October this year. Actually opens up next Wednesday if anybody wants to join. That'll be 14 stages. It's in Crumlin, which is just outside of London. Actually, I almost think that's where Nationals was in 2019.
That was one of the ranges. They did Nationals over 2 ranges.
Yeah.
And Crumlin was one of them. Yeah. Nice range.
So Yeah, and they actually have a new wooded rain. What do you want to call it? Jungle run. It's
Okay.
actually got certified by the CFO for shotgun.
Nice.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
Yeah, so it'd be like shooting in the U.S. like the jungle runs that we get to do down there.
Cool. Actually, here's a question because you're talking worlds. I know what the selection is supposed to be, but do you have any idea on what what they're actually going to do for selection for Team Canada for Worlds next year? Because I don't imagine there's actually a nationals happening.
No, there's not, unfortunately. From my understanding, I think Canada gets like 30 slots, so there's not going to be 30 people from Canada that want to go. So if you send an email, you pretty much get to go, and you've got the $1,000 for the entry fee. You're good to go. I don't think they're actually going to put a team in for. I wish they would, but I don't think they'll put a team in. For each
yeah, it's hard to
division.
put. I mean, yeah, you could take from 3-gun, but I mean, not everyone shoots 3-gun, especially out in Ontario. You got a lot of IPSC people.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be nice to be able to kept the nationals going, but
yeah, I wish they would have. I missed 2019 because I didn't have my black badge at that point. I was just trying to get it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was more or less like the one like legit nationals that's been held.
Yeah, I think so. I hope they do one next year. I know there's been talk of it, but I was hoping they would do one this year too.
Do you have the dates for provincials though? Because I mean, I imagine that's open nationwide.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I can tell you.
Is Paul MDing that one?
No, Matt. So Matt Elliott, who's actually Ontario president. He so here right here. So October 3rd to 5th, level 3, 14 stages, 185 rounds. If you want to email, if you're out of province, oxfordmultigun@gmail.com. And that's Matt's email. He can help you out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go, Tony. You gotta go to Ontario provincials for shotgun.
Don't bring your bandolier.
No, but
no, don't bring my bandolier. No.
Put that Nova Speed to work.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that is awesome. And so yeah, if you want, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be open probably for Worlds. I wish I could go to Worlds, but I'm not gonna be in a position to go. But I even though I've never been, I've always wanted to go. It just every time it just didn't work out.
I'm hoping to. A friend of mine did Italy. I think that was 2016, and he tells me all kinds of great stories about it. So
yeah,
it'd be a good experience. And I think I would do better at shotgun than I would at pistol, and definitely at rifle since we can't practice. So
yeah,
shotgun's I think my favorite, anyways.
Yeah, I think mine too, pretty much. Yeah, always has been. But yeah, so if you go to provincials, you get a good taste of what you're gonna run into and meet some faces and get in touch with the people basically making the plans.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, thank you, Justin. It sounds like that was a great trip. I'm a little jealous. I've been always wanting to go over there shooting. So
yeah, no, it was awesome. Definitely glad I did it.
You'll have to make it down south here and shoot some match. Maybe we'll get to a match together.
Actually, I'll see you at Memorial.
Yes, you're right. I'll see you at Memorial.
The weekend after Shotgun Provincials.
Yeah.
They actually, I think they kind of moved Shotgun Provincials because they was like, hey, we're thinking about doing it October 10th weekend. I was like, can you guys move it? I won't be here that weekend. They're like, yeah, we haven't set a date yet. Sure, we'll move the weekend before. Perfect.
Nice.
So that was always nice.
It's nice to have that poll.
Yeah, I think they weren't set on a date, so it was just kind of I happened to talk to the right person at the right time. So because that's always a fun match to do.
Perfect. Well, yeah, we'll catch up with you in October, and likewise, thanks for coming on the show.
Perfect.
Adriel, Tony, if you guys have anything else.
Nope, nothing else here.
Oh.
Cool. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Justin, for coming on. We'll move on to listener feedback. Tony, do you want to take this email from Spencer? I assume this is from Spencer from the length. Yes.
Let me take a look. Sure.
All right.
Let
Yeah.
me give it a try.
All right.
Hey folks, I just want to add a few things about traveling with firearms here in the US. First of all, when it comes down to locks, the actual law states that a firearm case cannot use a TSA lock. I don't think that has ever been enforced, but the reason should be obvious. You can buy TSA keys on Amazon for a couple bucks, which to my side note is that kind of defeats the whole purpose, which I saw it was always kind of a failure of the TSA lock and key program. I haven't had to travel with long guns, but for pistols, the best way I found is a box within a bag method. I was thinking that too, as in have your big check-in luggage and then have your pistol box inside it. Basically, I just put the pistol case with a non-TSA lock inside my larger check bag, which does have the TSA lock. The key is that when I fill out the declaration form, I put the form on the outside of the pistol case under a very large rubber band. And then I put all that into my checked bag and lock it with the TSA lock. This is perfectly legitimate, and it means if some secondary screening sees a gun and need to investigate, they will see declaration. When they open the outer bag, this means they don't have to cut open the pistol case or call me back to security like they would if the declaration was inside the pistol case. That is interesting. Somehow they would just believe you. I find it a little funny, but as
I
Kyle
think
has told us before.
last time I flew, we just taped it to the outside of the case. So yeah, and that makes sense. It's like, hey, no, we know it's there, so they've already done their due diligence.
I'm surprised they're not like using just like the destination tag, but like it says farm included inside and check layer. Just
Well, I mean, they
stick
randomly whatever, and if you like, I've had my last time flying, my tool bag got open and they had, hey, your tools were gone through. So I mean, I think it makes sense because then you don't have to get called back to open the case to prove to them that you declared it. Your declaration is taped right to the case. They don't have to call you back. It's like, oh yeah, no, this firearm was declared. We're good to go. Makes sense.
fair. I've traveled across the US this way, and the only issue is each airport is different on when they actually need the pistol case open to inspect. Here in Atlanta, they would tend to do it twice. Really. Once at the Delta counter where you fill in the form, and again at the TSA screening area. Although that seems to depend on who is staffing it. That's another thing. Every airport is different. You would think the procedure would be uniform, and in general they are, but details like what airline counter you go to or what the TSA does their screening seem to vary a lot from airport to airport. A side note from me is if you watched 3-Gun Amax's video on his experience, he would say some of the airports you would have to stand there and wait, usually 10 minutes recommended, for them to either call you back or you're clear to go, or some airports you don't have to. So it does seem to vary. And I guess even more so in Canada, if you have a smaller airport, they might not know what's going on. Another thing to be aware of, especially when carrying ammo, is how much your bag weighs. Be sure you know the overweight baggage weight is and be a few pounds under that. You really don't want to pay $100 or so because you had extra box of ammo in your bag. That's fair. And I have never had an issue with using the plain old case for ammo. I agree with Dustin though, the best way to transfer ammo is in the factory boxes. I've also never had a bag with a checked firearm show up on a carousel at my destination. It will always be held at the baggage office. Technically, they're not supposed to mark a bag with firearm, but they obviously do somehow, even if it's just in their system. Finally, plan your route to avoid any possibility of having to end up in a few states. New York is the worst offender, but states like Illinois, Massachusetts, and New Jersey are just as bad. Those states all required registration for firearms, and you won't have one. If for some reason your plane is diverted there and you have to take possession of your bag, you are now in possession of an unregistered firearm. Oh, really? There are documented cases of people getting their bags when a flight was diverted to New York and then getting arrested when they try to recheck their bag into another plane. Oof. Uh, if for some reason you get stuck in one of these places, do not, under any circumstances, accept possession of your bag. You may have to spend the night in the hotel without your toothbrush, but you wouldn't have that in jail either. Really? You don't get toothbrush in jail?
I don't think for an overnighter, no.
Fair. You need to make the airline keep them in their custody until you are rechecked onto your outgoing flight. That's for now. Spencer in no longer Smyrna. He still said Smyrna. P.S. Dustin need to open carry at least once in the U.S. just to make Trevor stop talking about it. Did Trevor? I don't know. I did not know. That's like, did Trevor say something about it?
I'm sure Trevor's got an opinion on it. I can't remember, but
He carried. He concealed carry in the U.S.
Mm.
He made frequent mention of it.
Cool.
Mhm.
The New York tip is a good one. I did not.
oh yeah,
know
New
that.
York's.
That
Yeah,
is.
no, that's
Just don't go there.
I understand, and I mentioned my friend is in Detroit, and it's funny because they have mandatory concealed carry licenses. Well, if you have it, it makes it a lot easier to purchase pistols regardless. So he did it. But like a big focus of his whole course is the state right next to you, Illinois, is really anti-gun. So like there are so many bloody warnings if you are going anywhere that's not directly south because you will be going through Illinois, usually Chicago, for example. So it's always good to check if you have a transfer
that's the thing with
flight.
being in
and
the States. You got to check state by state by state.
I guess that is grudgingly saying a benefit of Canada. It's federally regulated. Supposedly, everything is supposed to be the same across the board. Let's say.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah, Canada makes it real easy. You can't have anything. Period.
Yeah. It's well. I'm still waiting for them to take away my prohibs.
Anxiously waiting.
Might be a while.
How much money can I make? I offer you $1.
Be lucky
Something
if you
like
get that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. YouTube comments. Kyle, do you want to do those?
Sure, I can do those. So yeah, we got a few comments here. First one we'll go over from Illegal Canadian. Hey Tony, Karen rant inbound. LOL. In Canada, the term felony is not used. Instead, criminal offenses are classified as either summary conviction offenses, comparable to misdemeanors, or indictable offenses, comparable to felonies. Indictable offenses are more serious and can lead to harsher penalties, potentially including lengthy prison sentences. We don't like it when the government tries to judge our shooting culture using American examples, so we shouldn't use American terms. And fair point.
Which is fair, and I like Eddie's defend on that because Eddie says Tony was talking about importing from the U.S. to Canada. In doing so, you could be committing a felony in the U.S. side, which was my point because it's funny because Canada is actually pretty laxed about it if you are not importing a serialized firearm or in the current case, a AR-15 upper receiver, which is a prohibited device, or I guess oversized.
Canada doesn't care as long as it's not prohibited.
Yeah, as long as it's not prohibited, it's not a problem. So I'm really thinking about more. Dustin was particularly concerned about that as you get stopped in the no man's land, right, like in between the border checkpoints. Fortunately, I didn't have that issue allegedly, so I'm all good.
All right, we got a few more. Eddie got his obligatory couple comments in. Tony, regarding the cost of getting into 3-gun, all fun sports are expensive. You should enjoy what freedom you still have while we still have them. Wouldn't it be better if someone manufactured a metal version of the FGC-9 rather than expecting you to print multiple stocks? Yes. And I didn't get that Archer reference by M40A5 either. I had to look it up. From the couple of clips I saw on YouTube, it's not the type of humor I enjoy. And that is absolutely fair. It is a select bit of humor.
Fair.
Eddie's other comment here is, Adriel, the velocity for those Norma 308 wind training and range ammo seems rather low. The box spec says 2625 feet per second with 150 grain full metal jacket bullets. That's about 200 feet per second less than from what I see from other manufacturers. While researching this online, I found in the last few years there has been a recall and many complaints about Norma ammo. This included over 500 feet per second in extreme spread, bullets were seated much too deep, bullets or primers were missing, to kabooms with some of their 5.56 NATO ammo. Buyers beware. It's funny, I actually, talking with Unlimited Ammo, they were talking about like Norma brass and everything, and they won't touch it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it used to be like a big name, and
Norma is now under Ruag Ammo Tac, which is under the Beretta holding group. So you would imagine they wouldn't crank out garbage, but
well, yeah. I'm not so confident about Bass Pro's migration of Cabela's site to their Canadian website. I've already experienced problems with it. I followed their email sales link, and there were many missing photos and descriptions on their new website. It's only been a decade or so since they absorbed Cabela's, and they're finally launching a buggy Canadian site.
Yep. But now they're forced to fix it, so they'll fix it.
And then we got a comment on that last episode from Thomas DZ4EG. Still like hearing Jules' intro. So that was a podcast version on YouTube, and yeah, that's it for YouTube.
Still using it, yeah.
Why is it called Jules' intro though?
That's the person's voice that you're hearing.
Okay, got it. Cool.
Matthew's significant other. Yeah. Yeah, we got Facebook. Go over there, Instagram, Discord, Spotify, Patreon. I guess all those things. Discord, we got that. Go chat with us over on Discord. I was actually thinking we should move our chat that we normally do on Signal to Discord and just put it more over there. Because most often we're just talking about stuff that fans would want to talk to us about anyways.
Yeah.
And then keep that more to like the show and more like private stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah. Sponsor links. Yeah, if you want to buy some stuff from Cabela's or Brownells, get our link first. Thanks to our supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to support us, hit us up on those. If you'd like to email the show and have it read on air, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. You guys have any shout outs?
Yes. I wasn't here for what we did in Guns, so I'll do it next week. But I will shout out everybody who showed up to the match on Saturday, helped set up and tear down, and a special thank you. There was Lee Smith, Mike Devon, a couple other guys that when they were done shooting the stage, they literally went to the previous stage, tore it down, loaded it on the trailer. So when we were done shooting, we literally had one stage left to go tear down and put on the trailer. So special shout out to those guys. And yeah, thanks to everybody for coming out to the match on the weekend and yeah, making a good time.
Cool. Awesome. I'll give a shout out to IPSC Alberta for launching the mini rifle program, however controversial it might be, but hopefully we'll have some fun I guess at this point, probably the new year, but.
Cool. I got nothing, but I will have next week. Join our Discord. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Player. Join the CCFR. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Hey.
Good night, Kelly.